Hey guys, in this video we'll be looking at how to integrate Stripe into your Next.js 13 application. So let's start off. I have already created a basic e-commerce kind of app so that we don't waste any time. Where's my code editor? Okay, let's start it off again. 1 second. Okay, I think I closed it. Let's get this over here. Okay, I messed up somehow. Yep, okay. I'm gonna really uh, zoom into that one. Okay, I think that's visible. So I'm gonna start this. So I have already created a basic e-commerce app so that we don't waste any time getting into that portion of it and just go straight into how to integrate Stripe. If you guys want, I will cover that in a separate video. Just link, write it down in the comments. So to start off with, I'm gonna start off this app, npm run dev. You can copy this from the GitHub repository. It will be inside the pre branch. You can clone the pre branch and use that and try to integrate Stripe into it. Or if you're using your own application, well and good. Okay, so this is the basic app which I created. So let's just go through this application. I'll also start off the Prisma Studio. So, basic structure of my application's database. So if I open Prisma schema, this is the basic Nextdot stuff. There's this model, account, session, and user, and verification token. Basic Nextdot things. Well, if you've never used Nextdot before, I have a video here over there in the card about how to integrate magic link Nextdoor into your application. This part, this verification token user session account will be very similar to what is over there. But the only difference over here is I've used Google authentication instead of magic link authentication. All right. So there's this product table. So that is the table from which I am getting this product over here. These four products, and these four products are being rendered over here. We'll talk about how that is happening in a second. I have a cart item. So basically what the cart item is that it is a many-to-many table between the user and the product table. So what that is there might be three users in the application there, and there are four products in the application. Now user one might have product one and product two in their cart. User two might have only product three in their cart, and user three might have product one and product four in their cart. So basically what this is a user can be mapped to multiple products in their cart, and a product can be mapped to multiple users in their cart. So there's a many to many relation going on between the user and the product. So we need a table between those two to really link them. So I'm explicitly making a table for it. So it is using the user ID and the product as the indexes for it, and it also has a quantity. So the user might have, say, this product one, and he might have two product ones in his cart. So that is where the quantity comes in. Next is the order. So basically, when the person orders, the cart is cleared. So basically, all the cart items are deleted, and the order and an order is created. So that will go inside here. All right. So it is mapped to user, and it has again the products. It also has status. So it is unpaid, paid, shipped out, cancelled. In this video, we'll only be looking at these two portions because we're only looking at the Stripe integration. So we have that, and in the end, we have another many-to-many table relationship between the order and the products. So we're basically saying the an order might have multiple products, and the product might be linked to multiple orders as well. So we say order item, it is mapped to an order and a product, and again we have the quantity. All right, this is the basic schema for the next Prisma next part of this app. All right, I'm going to go to the page.tsx. So basically, what is happening over here is this is the home page, which is getting the products. This is a server component, by the way. So we're using an asynchronous function and then just awaiting this function, await prisma.product.find many, and we are listing these 4 products out here. All right. So let me just then if I look at the navbar, this is using session and then linking it to a sign in and sign out button. These are client components because we're using the on click handler. Will not go into too much detail about these portions, but let me try signing in now. Sign in with Google, and there is an error. Hmm, that's weird. I wasn't getting that error before. Should I just try restarting the application? This is weird. Loading components is giving an issue for some reason. Sign in again. Sign in with Google. Okay, seems to work now. Let me try signing in. Okay, we're signed in now. It shows logout and this. So we didn't have any users before, but now if I look at the user table, it will have this user which has the name, the email, image. Well, I'm not using any of these right now. This is only used for authentication. So we have these 4 products now. If I go into this product, this is whole page view about this. So I can add an item to the cart. So if I say add to cart, it will add the item to the cart. And if I go to the cart, I will have this product inside my cart. If I go and say add 2 of these, and go to the cart again, I will have 2 of product 3 and 1 of product 1. So this is $10 plus $60. That is $70 over here. So how are we doing this? So I have this product slash ID slash page.tsx, which is this page, like any of these product pages, which is getting the product from Prisma using the ID. We're getting the product and the session. Then we're just listing out the product over here. The add to cart button is using an on-click handler. So we use a client component to get that. We use this. We have a route handler for the add to cart API. So we go to API slash product slash ID slash add, which is over here, and we look at route.ts. So it's a very basic route handler. It's a post request. We're getting the JSON data, um, which is this. So we're getting the number of items to be added to the cart, which was like this. So it will be 2 or 4 or any of that right now. Right, so we go and pass in the number. So what is happening is we're just basic Zord validation about the number. We're getting the session if the user exists or not, user is logged in or not. We're checking if the ID exists, else returning an error. So what we're doing here is upsert basically means if the item exists, then we update the item or we create the item. So what this is doing is we're adding a cart item. So if the cart item is basically the relationship between the user and the products, right? So the cart item is every item inside the cart of the user. So we're just checking if the user ID, product ID, if a cart item exists with the user ID and the product ID as given. If it exists, then update the quantity only. So basically, if I go and look at my cart, I have product 1 and product 3 here, right? So if I go to product 3 and click on add to cart again, it adds 1 more to the cart, which already had 2. So I will have 3 over here now. All right. So that is what that is doing. It is updating the quantity and incrementing the number by the number of items which is provided. Else we create the product, create the cart item. We create a new cart item with the product connected using the Prisma query and the user connected and the quantity as passed. Basic Prisma stuff over here. And this is the new route handler provided by NextJS 13.2. two or three. I think two. Yeah. Or one. I'm not sure. Anyways, so we're adding that item to cart, and if we look at this cart page now, so if you look at cart page.tsx, okay. So again, this is server component. Inside here itself, we're using an asynchronous function to get the cart items. We're using the user ID, which is from the session, and we're including the products inside it. So if we don't do this, basically what this is doing is it is returning a cart item and with the product. But if we didn't do this, we wouldn't have the product over here. So it just has the item, but we don't won't have the product. So we include the product inside the query. So if I just look at, so it is including this product inside this query. That is why that is there. So we're listing out the cart items over here, and we have a helper function to calculate this. I keep going to the wrong screen. Anyways, we have a helper function to calculate this total. So basically, what that is doing is it is called just using the reduce function, adding to the previous total. It is adding the product dot price into the quantity of the item. All right. This is basically all we have till now. Now we need to integrate this button, which is the order button, which is over here. This is the order button which we have. So if I look into this button, this is just a basic client component right now. Like this will work even without this for now. If I refresh, this works. But we want some client interaction over here, including on click. So we add the use client over here. All right. Now let's look at how to integrate Stripe. So that this is 12 minutes and 10 seconds into it. We start off with the Stripe integration. All right. So it took me a while to find the right page to get to this because the documentation is so scattered. I couldn't find out where to start off. So if you go into the Stripe docs, uh, okay, found that out somewhere pretty fast. Okay, go into payments, taking a few minutes today, and click on accept online payments. All right. So I'll link this inside the description, but you go into this and click on Next.js over here, and this will be there. Now this is there for the pre-Next.js 13 era. So this is using API routes and not route handlers. The other stuff should remain pretty much the same, but there's a few changes here and there. All right. To start off with, we're gonna install these packages. We're gonna install Stripe and Stripe slash add Stripe slash Stripe.js. We don't need Next because that would come pre-installed if you're using a Next.js application already. We go into that. All right, over here. That. All right. I'm gonna click on enter. All right. We have those installed now. I keep going to the wrong page. Okay. Anyways, so next step is Sess over here to create a checkout section. Excuse me. For this, they were using an API route before, but we'll be using the route handlers inside Next.js 13. So for that, first of all, I'm going to go inside my lib directory and add something called stripe.ts. Yeah. So I had to take a pause there, sorry. So we'll be using the next new API route. So if you look at this, it is requiring the Stripe function and then instantiating it using the Stripe secret key. So if you go inside your dashboard, you should find if you log in into your application, you should be into Stripe, you should be able to create an API key. I can hopefully hide this somehow. Let me sign in and I will take this to the other window, which I'm not able to do right now for some reason. Okay, one sec. How in the world am I supposed to do that? Ah, can I not do that? Wait, okay. For God's sake. Okay, wait. Move to retina display. It did not work. Sorry about this. How in the world? I'm just gonna copy this, close this, and open this over here. Not that. Here. New window. Can I move this to there? Yeah, I can. Okay. And that opened it as well. Okay. So inside the dashboard, you should see inside your home page. Okay, I can actually show this part over here. I'll just copy the API key from here. All right. So inside the dashboard, after creating your app, it should be pretty straightforward. I did this a while ago, so I don't remember exactly how it's done, but here I'll just show. So inside this home page inside your dashboard, just click on the secret key eye icon, reveal that key, um, and then copy it. All right. I copied it from my other window, but just copy it. And what you want to do is go inside your .env and then paste it. I already have it over there. All right. But it will. Wait, do I have it? Let me just check if I have it. All right. Yep. So create something like a. Wait, let me just show. Uh, have something like a stripe underscore secret underscore key equal to, and then paste that API key over here. All right. Maybe inside quotes because it has a few special characters. If you, so you would ideally want to escape them. So add those inside quotes, and you should have the secret key set up. All right. We have that. Okay. Can I just not ignore this? Okay. Okay. So the next step, like we looked at over here, is to create this part. So what I will do is I will go inside that lib folder and open the stripe.ts, and I'll have a helper function here which I can use across the application. So I will import stripe from stripe, all right, and export font stripe variable, which will be new stripe. It is a class. Just pass in the process.env type key, or maybe if it doesn't exist that, because else TypeScript will give me an issue. You can follow along fine if you're not using TypeScript as well. You need to pass this API version. So the API version latest to be used. This is the only API version which can be used, but you need to pass this in over here. And since I'm using TypeScript, I'll set TypeScript to true. It will have some TypeScript type definitions coming through from Stripe. All right, this is done now. Now the first part of this is done. Let's look at the next step. We need to create this API route over here. All right. Now this is pretty simple. Uh, I won't say simple, but it's not as complicated as I thought it might be initially. So what I'm going to do is inside my API directory. So I'll just collapse all the others just to show it better. This is inside app/API. I'm going to create a new directory over here called checkout/route.ts. It is visible at over here. All right, over here. Yep. So let me just look at this now. Route.ts. All right, let's go to checkout/route.ts. I'm going to add a post request over here, and this will get the request from request, and this will be a request object, and this will be an arrow. All right. So first of all, I'm gonna get the cart items from the front end. All right. So because I need to pass the cart items into my Stripe, so I will get the body. Um, Body is equal to await request.json. All right, so this will get the the request body from the front end, and I can destructure this and get the cart items. For this, I need to set that this, okay, one thing, this is supposed to be an asynchronous function. Second, this doesn't know if it exists inside it, and we don't know the type for it also. So if I look at into my types, I actually have a helper function here, helper type over here, cart item with products. So if we looked at the include keyword we used before to get the products, so it returns this type. And I didn't want to keep writing cart item and product everywhere, so I created this over here. So all I need to do inside my route now is set this body to be equal to cart items. This will be cart item and sorry with product, and we need to import this over here, and it is a list for that. So import cart item with product from add slash, where was this from? Why is it not coming inside my, anyways, lib slash types. All right, and we can say type that. So if I look into this now, this is that type. Cool. So we're getting the data from the front end. Again, we need to check if the user is authenticated. So we just get the auth session. For that, I have another helper function over here, auth.ts. So what this is doing is it is just getting the get server session. This is from NextJS. If I look at this over here, this is from Next.js, and I'm passing in the auth options so that I don't need to pass it again and again. The auth options are just this, all right. So this is just calling the provider, Google provider, using the callback and setting the session dot user to user. All right, cool. This is done. So I need to get the session user session over here. So I'll just await get auth session, and this is coming from at slash lib slash auth. If the user auth session does not exist, I will just return next response dot json. I will have the error key over here and say sorry, not logged in. Great. And we'll pass in a second object with the status parameter of 401. 401 means unauthorized inside HTTP codes. Now I will start a try catch block. We'll okay, so inside the catch block, we'll just say it is basically a so internal server error. So 500 requests will go. But before that, I'll just console.error. All right. Or if you want the message, you can just typecast this as error and say message over here. All right. And then we'll return next response dot json. We'll say error is error as error dot message. By the way, ideally you will not show this error inside your client, but I'm just writing this here. You'll probably send something like internal server error and just check your logs to check what error came in. All right. So let's look at the actual logic now. First of all, what do we want to do over here? When the user is trying to order something, step one, I will create a new order inside my database. All right. Step two, I will clear the cart items, and step three, I will go to the pricing page. So the checkout page. So the order page by default, if I look into my Prisma schema, if I look into my order, it has a status, right? It has a default of unpaid. So when I create this order, the status for that will be unpaid. And when the checkout has happened successfully, I will change that to paid. All right. So I will create the order first, then I will clear my items inside my cart, because if I clear the items cart first, inside the cart first, and then the order for some reason is not created properly, then it will give me an issue, because the user does not have the cart items also anymore. So the user has to go in and add the cart items again, and then do the order process again, which is a little bad in terms of UX. So first of all, we'll clear the cart items. First of all, we'll create the order. Sorry, that is my bad. So I'll just call and await create order. So I will create this order function over here. So for that, inside here, I'll just say const create order. This will be an asynchronous function because I need to work with Prisma over here. So I'll just say const order is equal to await Prisma dot order dot create. Now I need to get this Prisma from let's start DB. So this is just this. This is a basic Prisma implementation. So once that is done, this takes in a where. Is this not working fine? One second. It seems to be fine. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you need to pass me data, not where. So data will one have the user ID. So this is mapped to user, right? The order is mapped to user and it is mapped to multiple products inside them that many to many connection we talked about before. So we pass in the user ID, which is coming from the auth session. So all we need to do here is pass that user ID over here. So I'll say user session dot user dot ID. So I can say over here, I can get that ID over here. So I'll say user ID is a string. So I can pass that over here. All right, one part is done. Second part, I need to set the status to unpaid. Even, well, you don't need to do this because by default it is unpaid, but I'll just have that implicitly here, explicitly here. Yep, explicitly here just to make it more readable. I'll connect the products now. So for that, I will use the what is it called? The Prisma connection query, right? So, and this is connected to the order item. So I will create a new order item in this case, right? So for that, I will just say create. See, if this was directly mapped to the products, inside a many to one connection, we could have directly just say products and connect. But we have that many to many connection in between. So we have the table of order item in between. So we are getting that product and order mapping right by creating this order item. Note that we are not creating a product. We're creating this order item. All right. So this we need from the cart items which we got over here, right? So for every cart item, we'll have an order item, correct? So for that, what I will do here is I will also pass in the cart items over here. So I'll just say cart items, and over here, let's add that over here. Say cart items is cart item with product as a list. So here we'll just say cart items dot map through each item, and we will return another object with the product ID, which will be item dot product dot id, or well, item dot product id, and the quantity, which is item dot quantity. All right, that is the order being created. We can then return the order over here. So what does this return? This returns the type of promise order. All right, we've created the order. Now we need to clear the cart now. So for that, I will have another function. I will need the user ID again over here. So I'll just say user session dot user dot ID. Let's have, what did I do? Okay, let's have const clear cart function. Asynchronous, we need the user ID again. Let's await Prisma dot cart item dot delete many, where the user ID is the user ID. This is the same as user ID. This is an ES6 shorthand for it. And I made a spelling mistake. Alright, and we're done. We don't need to return the cart item or anything. Just a function returns void, promise a void. Alright. So basically I can get the order from here. Do I need it? Well, not specifically. Do we need it? Yep, I will need it. I'll show you why we need it in a second. Alright. So now after I've created the order and cleared the cart, I will turn to style. Now, remember we created that this function over here. So this is the variable which we'll be using to do the next steps. So I'll just look at the documentation again and show this. So if you look at this, this is creating a session. Excuse me, I have a bad cough. So this creating a checkout session. It is creating a checkout session using this function. Let me just zoom in. Oh my god, this is bad. Okay. Checkout.sessions dot. Oh, you can't see this. 1 second. Yeah, you can see it now, I think. Right, you can see checkout.sessions.create over here. This has the line items. So what a line items basically means is, so if I look at this over here, every let me just open the dashboard. So every Stripe checkout is linked to a product and a price. So that product and price basically by default is inside a Stripe. So for every product you have inside your application, it will create a product inside Stripe. So what you can do is create the product when the order is being created so that you don't need to feed in the data before itself. So if I look at the products over here, I tried this before, so it will have a few products over here. If I look at the all products, okay, it doesn't have it. Huh. Let me just look at payments maybe. Yep, let me look at this payment. All right. See this had already created the products over here. Again, it's not visible. Yep. So it had created these products over here as product 2 and product 3. All right. Hope that's visible over here. So this was created on the go using this line items way. But if you look at this, define product information when you create the checkout session using predefined price IDs. So if you have this, you can predefine the price IDs. If, for example, you have the products inside Stripe and then you're just querying them inside your application. But what we have is we have the products inside our application itself. So we create them on the fly with price data, which is why we are using well, we'll use line items, price data for that. Here they've used this price ID. This is predefined. So we'll create this on the go. I'll just talk about how to do that in a second. Um, that is actually it. Hmm. Yep. Okay. So let's just look at this thing for a second. The price data API. All right. Taking a second. Yep. So I can create line items dot price data. The data is used to generate a price object inline. So for that, we just send this price object. This is the price data object, by the way. So we send this line items, which is an array of the all the items. Yeah, it is an array of all the items, and price data is one. Price data is one product. Yep. Okay. Got that right. Okay. So we have the currency. This will be USD, in my case INR or U. Okay, that was that. Yeah. Or any other currency which you need to add over there. They have showed USD here. You can add the product data. We don't really need to do much over here. Just add the product data normally, unit amount. Okay, let me just go directly to the code. We'll understand better here. Okay, where is my code? Yeah, okay. So now what we do is we use the Stripe object we created earlier, like I said. So we create that session, the checkout session. Let's just call this checkout session to distinguish between the user session and this. That's why I name that as user session. All right. So I made Stripe dot checkout. Okay, we need to import this Stripe, which is not importing. Import Stripe from @lib/Stripe. All right. So do I need to restart my LSP? Yeah, so working now, I guess. So inside this await Stripe over here, await Stripe dot checkout dot, we need to create a new session. We create a new session and we need to pass in the data over here. Right. So we now use the line items key which was mentioned earlier. Now each product will be inside its own. Let me disable Copilot. Not able to explain it properly because it's just completing directly. Okay. Now every product inside the cart will be a line item of its own. Right? And lighting is not very good today. Okay. So we go cart items and we map through the cart items. For each item, we create a product new product like that. All right. Now each product will have a price data. So what is price data? We saw that earlier. We use the currency, which is in my case INR. You can use USD. All right. I will have the product data. You can pass in the whole product here, but I'll just pass in the name. All right. Doesn't make sense to have all that data over there for no reason. Then we have the unit amount. Now unit amount, uh, if you do item.product.price, there is an issue. So basically what they're doing is they're taking this price and then adding 2 decimal points to it. So if I have 2000 as my INR, rupees 2000, it is converting this to rupees 20.00, which is not what I want. So what you want to do over here is multiply this by 100. Alright, depending on how your application is working. Alright, do that. And then if you have float amounts, just remove the float and then add 2 decimal points. Check the quantity, which is item.quantity. All right, what is the error? Yeah, we have a few more things left over here. So after all this, we add a metadata. Not really needed, but I'll just add the user ID over here, just to have a basic idea inside my Stripe dashboard. We add a mode. There are 2 things you can do here. Setup, I'm not sure what it does, but payment is our use case. You can have subscription models like something like Netflix does over here. You next 2 are very important. We have a success URL. So where it redirects to after the checkout has happened successfully. All right, we wanted to go to http localhost 3000. Get this domain from your process.env depending on if it is development or production. All right, don't hard code this. I'm hard coding it right now, but don't do this in production. Go to /orders. We don't have this right now. We want to go to order.id. This is why I showed you. Okay, we need to get this as a template. So this is why we're getting the order over here. All right, we want to go to that order ID. In this case, let's add a query parameter. Success is true. And let's okay. Here is where I was a little confused when I was looking through this. All right, let me zoom out. Now, when they're going to the success URL, supply success and cancel URL, when they're handling the redirect, we're just saying if success is true, if query.get success, then console.log order place, you will receive an email confirmation. But what about if the person just gets the order ID somehow and then just adds success is true over there? It just counts that as successful, which will be a vulnerability. We don't want that. So I was looking through a few places on how they did this. So that is why what we'll do is we'll get the session ID from Stripe. Okay, they have this inside their official example, by the way. So we get this session ID and just remember this is not an template literal object. It is just normal query curly braces just at checkout underscore session underscore ID. So it replaces that with the session ID, which is the checkout session dot ID. All right, it replaces this with that, and if on success you can verify if that session actually exists. If that exists and the status is well done or whatever it is, we look into it in a second. If it is done, then we verify that it is done and we set the order to be paid, else it will remain unpaid, right? And cancel URL http localhost 3000 order/order.id, and we can say cancelled is true. All right. Okay, this is done. Now what we need to do is, because this is a, there are two things you can do. What I will do is I will return this next response object, and I will pass in the URL to which we need to go to do the payment. We get the checkout session, and this has a URL parameter to it. So we get that and we return it back. All right. So if I go to my order button now, we need to fetch this, right? So for that, I will have a function over here. Okay, obviously I need the cart items over here, right? So I'll just say interface order button props, which is the cart item. Again, we use the cart item with product as a list and an array. Yeah, in JavaScript they're pretty much the same, but cart items, we do cart item, not that, cart item with product, no wait, order button props. All right, we're done with that. Now we can have the order function over here. Remember, this is a client component. You can't use promises directly. Well, we can set this function to be a promise. Order function, asynchronous. All right, and we just set this on click. What am I doing? On click parameter to order. Great. Over here, we fetch that API route which we just created /API/checkout. We get that as data. We await that API/checkout. All right. Obviously, post request, and we need to pass in the headers. We need to do this? Not really, but I'll just add the content type application/JSON. All right, we pass in the body now, which will be an object, but we need to stringify it. All right. Now the object will have the cart items as we mentioned earlier inside the API route. Now, from this API request, we will get back the URL to which we need to go to. So we just get the URL from here, await data.json, and we set the window.location.url, href to URL. Also, we want to do a preliminary check here if data is not okay. If you have some unauthorized error or internal server error, which one? This return toast. I have this toast function over here. It just returns a toaster from React for toast. It's a very easy thing. This return toast error, fail to create order. Or you can get the message if you want. All right. Now that this is done, what this will do is it will go back to that URL, and it will get the Stripe integration working. Let's check this out. We have one this and three this. We have $100 this. Let's just refresh one just in case. Click on order. Just wait for a second. It failed to create order. I don't have any error over here. That's weird. Okay, I can't see any error over here. Let me just restart the app. Should be fine instead of without that. Over here. I will have a timestamp below where this is being debugged, but if you want to follow along on how I'm debugging this, just follow along if you want. I'm not sure if I'll be able to properly though. I have no idea where this error is coming from. Go to the cart. Okay, we have this now. This is an issue we don't need to fix that right now. Click on order, API slash checkout slash route. It is getting the service session and it is failing for some reason. Let's just look at the network request. Click on order over here. Click on checkout. The response cannot read properties of undefined. Is that route? Okay, we're getting this cart items from here, right? Let's just console.log the cart items. I think this is where the issue is. For some reason, it doesn't have these in the. Let's just look at the payload. Oh, the payload is empty. Why is the payload empty? Hmm. Ah, okay. We need to pass the cart items from here, this page, the cart page into the order button. So let's just say cart items is cart items. I'm surprised it didn't give me an error inside the console itself. Okay, it should be fine now. Let's refresh. Click on order now. Hopefully it works. It goes inside Stripe. Now look at the left hand side, all right? Look at this part. It has the product one and product three over here, right? It has this is $10, 10 rupees, and this is product three, quantity three, 30 rupees each, 90 rupees, and it is $100. So to try this out, let's just use Stripe's um, test credentials. So we just say photo, okay, email address. I'll just add a random email address. All right, let's use photo. This is the test inside test mode over here, if you can see. Hence, we can use this. Just add some date in the future and add some CVC. That's fine. Just add some card name and click on pay. All right, let's click on pay now. And we won't get back to anything because the order slash ID page does not exist, by the way. Let's remember that. Right, so it's gone back to order slash that ID. It is success is true and passed in the session ID. Great, we're almost there. Let's look at the payments over here. Look at payments. There should be 100 rupees succeeded over here. Let's look at the products. It has product 1 and product 3. All right. Zoom out again. All right, great. So it has these cards 4242. It is lorem ipsum and lorem ipsum at gmail.com. Origin is US for some reason. And it is coming from New Delhi. All right, we have all these things coming from here. Now what we need to do is create that order page. That is the last step now. Okay, let's go to the app directory. Let's create order slash order ID inside square braces. Look at my footer over here. All right, let me just zoom in. Right, order ID slash page.tsx. All right, let's zoom out again. Great. We're here now. Let me just open that inside my reference. All right, now over here, let's start off with by creating the page. Let's look at what all things we need. All right, let's say default asynchronous function order page. Remember, we're getting some query parameters over here, right? So we need to get the params. So the params is basically this order ID over here. All right, so we just say okay, we go params, and this will have the order ID for us, and we will also have a search params. Search params is the query params which is coming back. Remember, we had a success and we had cancelled maybe, or we had a session ID, right? We don't need to do this actually. Let's just get search param. All right, let's typecast this. This will be a params. It will have an order ID which will be a string, and the search params which will be an object again. This will have the session ID for sure. It might have a success, which is a boolean, and it might have a cancelled, which is a boolean. All right, now hope this is really visible to you. I tried out the zoom in with cursor thing in OBS, so hope that's working fine. Okay, now we check if the search param dot success search params dot success is well or truthy value. We go const session ID. Let's get the session ID from here, which is search params dot session ID. Now, if the session ID does not exist, that means there is some issue. So we can throw an error. Probably have a error handling somewhere using the error.ts inside NextJS 13. All right, something like that. Else, we'll get the we'll try to check if the session is fine. Getting the session. All right. So for that, I will have a function at the top. For that, I will have get session and set order. Maybe. All right. Wrong way to write this. Let's have a function at the top, const get session and set order. It's an asynchronous function again. We will get the session ID, which is a string, and we will get the can we get the order? Yeah, okay. Let's get the order ID as well. Set order, basically what it will do is set the order status to paid if the session exists. All right. Again, we need to set this to a string as well. Now we try to get the session, if that exists or not. Right. Let me zoom out again. Okay, for that we need to use types API again. That is why I had the helper function inside a different file. All right. I can get this type over here now. I can do checkout, type.checkout.sessions dot retrieve and pass in the session ID over here. So it will try to find that, cannot find name session ID. Const. Oh, that is my bad. 1 second. That okay. Now if the session exists and if session has a status, by the way. Alright, if the session status is complete, then we can get the order and update it. So we can set order await prisma dot order dot, okay, we need to get prisma again dot update where the ID is the order ID which is passed into this function. Okay, we need to set the data to status, and the status will come from an enum which we had in the prisma. So we get order status, which can come from prisma client dot paid, or you can just say paid just like that, but defeats the purpose of having the enum. All right, we can do this now. Okay, that is fine. Let's get this over here. So we let's return the session and the order back to the front end. All right. If this session does not exist, then again some issue is there. Throw new error. Uh, you should not be able to access this page. All right. Await get session and set order. We pass in what? We want the session ID first, and we want the order ID second. Right? We passed in these two. Now we can get the order and the session from here. Let's just return. For now, I can just do JSON.stringify order. We don't even need the session back, but you can write session.id somewhere maybe if you want. Again, wrong page. Okay, let's just refresh this now. Yay! So we got that and we changed the status to paid. Great, it is working very well. We have this ID created, add updated, add user ID and status is paid. You can beautify this a little if oh, we have one more issue over here. If the session state success is not true, then just say we have already returned something here. We can say return p tag, maybe just say something went wrong. You can beautify this if you want, just change the UI if you want to show something else. Okay, this worked. So, but if we want, let's just try canceling something. Let's add this product 3, or let's get a MacBook Air. It looks like an M2. Okay, add to cart. Okay, go to cart, click on order. We have this page over here. Click on this back button over here. All right, went to cancelled true and wrote something went wrong. Okay, that is probably it actually for this video. Incorrect callback URL. Okay, let's try to beautify this a little bit. I'll just I'll just copy paste some code I had written before over here so that I don't waste any time doing this. Let's include the products inside this query, inside the order. So let's include the product so that I can show that inside this page. This is say products include product true. I'll tell you why we're doing this, alright? So basically what is happening is this product is an order item. Now this order item has the product inside this, right? I'll just show this properly. Prisma. If I look at the order, alright. Now the order has this product which is the order item. Now the order item has the product inside this. So we need to include this as well. So what we need to do for that is, where was my page? Yep. Products include again the product inside this. Alright, well and good. Let me just go over here, change this. I will copy paste this code so that I don't waste a long time doing this. I'll just explain what I've written over here. Okay. I have this icon set up somewhere. It's just a tick mark with an SVG. Let's get the image from NextJS. Sorry, next image. And it should be fine. This just looks like, let me refresh. Taking a second for some reason. That's it. Okay, so that is the order placed and the order ID is being shown if the user wants to use it for some reason, customer service or whatever. We have the product being shown over here, the products which were used. All right, that is it for this video. I'll just have another go at ordering something just to show you how the whole workflow is working now. Click on product 2. Let's add 3 of these iPads, which is $20 apparently. and let's get an echo dot. Let's go to the cart. Let's order a $70 bill with two iPads and an echo dot. Click on order. Again, let's use that random. Let's add yeah, let's add the same email. Uh, all right. 12.25. Let's add lorem ipsum again and pay. Click on no thanks, and now it should go directly to that page, and it shows one echo dot and two iPads. So that was it for integrating Stripe into your Next.js project. It is very simple, and even with all the explaining I did in the start, it only took an hour or so. And I went very slow about explaining it as well, and I had a few errors along the way. But all in all, it shouldn't take you more than half an hour maybe if you follow along with this video. So if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.